Hi everybody. Today we are taking on the always hot topic of ILS listings and leads. So since this is such a big topic, we're going to be talking with different property management pros about their strategies with lead quality, attribution, value, and today I am very lucky to be talking with Bobby Stewart, who is VP of Marketing at BH Management. Bobby, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks, Brent. I'm excited to be here.
So let's just jump right into it, okay? Let's talk about technology first. And I'd love to hear how you are leveraging technology to lead the prospective renter down the path in the leasing process.
Yeah, that is a great question. And I have to start by saying my team hears me say on repeat over and over that the multifamily industry doesn't have a lead problem today. We have a customer experience challenge, and leading renters down that path is complex. So we have more leads coming in today than anyone knows what to do with. And multifamily teams are really struggling to service those leads. Everything from phone call answer rates to email response times. The customer journey in multifamily is full of bumps and bruises. And it's to no fault of our on-site teams because the leasing consultant job is hard. At BH, we have defined what we call the Marketing Focus 5. It's where we've identified our 5 biggest growth levers across really specific tactical areas of marketing, and we put them down on paper. So this way we can focus first on building that best of breed marketing toolkit to maximize our impact, and everything else is just cherry on top. And while it might sound rudimentary, at the heart of all of that is still a community's website, which is so often the most overlooked tool that impacts the buyer's journey and guides them through leasing. So we're also in the process of redesigning a brand new corporate website that's focused on more innovative merchandising, so our prospective renters can shop for an apartment the same way they make any other online purchase today.
So how do you look at your different marketing partners from lead quality as far as how either the type of data that they're sending you or how far along that they're getting that prospect in the leasing process?
Yeah, I'd expand that list a little bit to say quality, cost, and alignment with strategic priorities and values. And this is one of the reasons why we appreciate having a variety of partners in the space who are aligned to that same vision that we are, focusing on delivering delightful customer experiences, equitable and inclusive practices, and deploying a strategy that ultimately improves the way that consumers rent an apartment. So for BH, we love vendors like Zumper who have a mobile-first mindset, and particularly because they drive 90% of their ILS traffic through organic sources by focusing on quality content and providing information that renters actually want and need. And in conjunction, they aren't competing with BH's paid media or digital advertising efforts, and in turn are able to deliver a lower cost lead than some of our other listing services. Another example is in reputation management. And while reputation management isn't often a strategy that gets credit for lead generation or lead quality, our current review response partner, who actually comes from outside of the multifamily industry, understands that ancillary marketing strategies and tactics like review response can actually have a meaningful impact on SEO and can boost organic lead and lease contributions, in addition to increasing transparency in the way we do business. So alignment is really important to us at BH. When it comes down to the brass tacks of how we actually evaluate which levers to pull and when, We've structured our corporate support organization to promote better performance analysis, not only understanding what happened and how marketing sources performed in the past tense, but also being able to predict how sources will continue to perform.
How would you describe a high quality lead versus a low quality lead?
Yeah. Short answer, a high quality lead is someone who schedules and shows up. But, in reality, it's so much more nuanced than that. At the end of the day, there are definitely a portion of leads that can be classified as low quality, right? You've got spam, robocalls, things that need to be weeded out. And software to do that programmatically is coming into our space. But outside of straight up fake leads, there are particular buying behaviors that tend to lump consumers into one bucket or another, high quality lead versus low quality lead, really regardless of whether or not those labels are true. And oftentimes, the multifamily industry labels consumers who are ready to commit and sign a lease ASAP as a high quality lead, while prospects who need more time, who evaluate their decisions more slowly, and in turn record more touch points along the journey, are often labeled as low quality. But in reality, we just don't have great technology to nurture slow-moving consumers through their buying journey in a thoughtful way. So what tends to happen is that marketers perpetuate this cycle of needing to pump more money into marketing channels to find more people who are on that fast track buying cycle, because we don't really know what to do with slow shoppers. And it's a challenge that's not unique to multifamily, right? Marketers may successfully hit their number all day long while sales quotas are missed. Sales folks will say they missed their numbers because leads were low quality, and round the cycle goes. If we can pull back some of our focus on lead quality metrics and really focus on the actual customer experience, I think a lot of companies would be really surprised by the outcome.
I want to kind of expand on what you said on something. So you're talking about how Zumper does organic leads and how they're kind of in a spot where renters are getting more information that is applicable to their renter journey, and how they're not necessarily competing with you all when it comes to paid promotion. And I think we've heard a lot about that, right? Where it's a struggle for a lot of companies where they're both working with different ILS partners, but then also competing with them. And how much does that go into your decision to work, or either work with an ILS or the amount of spend you run with an ILS?
Working with vendors that share our vision for marketing strategy and even data transparency is huge at BH. One of the other reasons why we love Zumper is that they are willing to share the raw data with us so that we can react faster and in a more meaningful way as demand changes. And, I might be so bold as to say that the days of siloed platforms that run on set it and forget it mentalities, expecting a blind trust from their customers, are coming to a close. The multifamily industry is full of smart, capable marketers who are ready for a new era where our vendor partners are running to catch up with us and our innovative ideas for the future, and not the other way around. So being able to have those candid conversations about what we need and where we're going with partners who understand and want to meet us there is so important.
How can marketers use external resources like an ILS to help prospective renters self-qualify?
Great question. I believe that every digital touch point is an opportunity to share information to help prospects self-qualify. And at the foundation, it's making sure that your listings are accurate and updated, right? Taking advantage of technology to push feeds out, making sure that those are clear and accurate and have the most up-to-date information. Putting together an internal program to periodically audit your listings to ensure that you have updated amenities, updated photos, that renters are able to access the latest information about your property is fundamental and it's key, right? And then also treating an ILS like an opportunity to promote the brand and the lifestyle at each property, differentiating between communities and really telling the narrative of what it's like to live at that property so that you're allowing those prospects to educate themselves and self-qualify so they know before they reach out to a leasing agent and have a need for human contact if that property has the potential to be the right place for them.
All right, so let's jump into a different segment, which is a huge issue for multifamily marketers, which is lead attribution. So you're dealing with a whole bunch of touch points, a whole different sources. How do you approach lead attribution over at VH?
Yeah, and marketing measurement is one of my favorite topics and one that I feel is really misunderstood today. Not just by marketers who are attributing leads and adjusting marketing spend as a result of that data, but also by technology providers and vendors in this space who are building reporting tools and platforms that operate a certain way. I heard someone recently say that marketers are handcuffed by attribution, and I couldn't agree more. There's almost this passive complacency that's developed in the world of marketing, where everyone has jumped on the bandwagon of lead source attribution without really understanding its fundamental purpose and, more importantly, its limitations. For example, a really common conversation in the multifamily industry today goes something like, but the data says that my Google search ads aren't converting. And I ask, well, how do you know? And the response is, because there aren't any leases attributed to that source in CRM. And the rise of CRM in multifamily has been both a blessing and a curse, where it's offered an incredible amount of support for our on-site teams, but most marketers have come to rely too heavily on CRM to be a marketing measurement tool, which it's not designed for. It's designed to facilitate great customer service, and it does an excellent job of doing just that. But marketing measurement is a whole different ballgame, and it requires a completely different tool set than CRM has to offer.
Let's talk about a little bit more about metrics and data points and that sort of thing. In a general sense, when you're looking month over month, what are you looking at most often? That's, is there anything that's easily consumable that people can go, okay, this is what she's kind of, high level looking at to, I know a lot of things are automated at this point, so maybe it's a little harder to identify those, but what would you say as far as the data points that you're most often checking out?
Yeah, the answer to this question is very nuanced, right? It's everything from what's a property's long-term strategy to seasonality, occupancy, rent growth, turn costs. And even most recently, we've been talking about the idea of compassion and goodwill and how that influences and drives the decisions that the BH team makes when it comes to data points and KPIs. The easy surface level answer would be prospect demand and conversion metrics, but both of those things relative to the market as a whole. And, the broader, more 30,000 foot view level is being able to dip your toes into the assessment of lift or incrementality as another driver of influence.
I am blown away by all the great information you shared today. I appreciate you joining us because this has been fantastic and it got my marketing juices flowing. So I appreciate it so much, Bobby. everybody, thank you so much for joining us and walking through this interview with Bobby. And as you have thoughts of your own as far as your marketing journey, make sure to comment below, and we hope to see you there. Bobby, thanks again, and have a great one. Thank you.
Thank you, Brent. Appreciate it.